Hey guys, Victoria here, and welcome to the Geeky Sandbox. I'm super excited about this one today, guys. Today we're going to be doing a non-spoiler review over the movie Midsommar. Midsommar is a 2019 horror film directed and written by Ari Aster, who was the director and writer of the awesome movie Hereditary. And there's a lot to unpack here, guys. There's a lot. I got to see the movie just a couple of days ago with my friend Deontay. Really bizarre and interesting experience, and I say that in the best, like with the best of intentions. Like it was I ugh. So there are a lot of actors and actresses within this movie, but the person we're going to talk about for this review is, of course, our leading lady, Florence Pugh. Phenomenal. The anguish that she had at some points throughout the movie, just the way that she really took us on a journey with Danny. She plays Danny in the movie. It was very interesting, and it felt like she really understood the character and possibly in some ways what the character was going through. So I really feel like definitely she did a great job. So I mean the casting here overall, I feel like everybody as a group worked well together, but having her as the leading lady was, I don't think I can imagine this movie with anybody else. She just kind of had it all. She had the perfect cry, she had the perfect laugh, she had the perfect just performance. Like she just did amazing. And it's like, it's not every day that I'm like, this person was just perfect, but I really don't think this movie would have been what it was without her performance. To go over characters, like without giving anything away, something does happen with the character which kind of kicks off the entire movie and kind of relates to a few themes that Ari has visited before. As we know, in Hereditary, he visited themes of grief and family, and within this one they have themes of grief and like toxic relationships. And so you kind of have Danny, like she's going through so much, and they're able to relate back to some of that stuff later, whether it's like her character arc, like it really is like an actual journey, or whether it's the story that actually goes on a journey and things do connect. You know, that's just going off into the script. I do feel like it is similar. Like this is a story you've seen before. You've seen kids or college kids, or at this point in this movie, they're graduate students, but you've seen college kids or maybe even high school kids go to some kind of location for spring break or whatever it is, and then the place is kind of culty or whatever. Like that's things like that. You've seen the movie before. You've seen this type of movie. However, you haven't seen this type of movie. In regard to what Ari was able to do, like I said, with embedding those heavy themes of like what it's like to deal with grief from different kinds of cultures, and I don't know, the way you were brought up, how do you deal with grief? They do explore those topics while also still keeping this movie at its core a horror film. However, the one thing I will say, which ties back into characters, I didn't care about any of the other characters. Not to say that they weren't intricate parts of the movie, but they felt more like people that were there to make certain things happen rather than like people that were there to make certain things happen for Danny, Florence's character, versus being individual characters. I felt like they do kind of just drop you into the movie in the midst of everything that's going on with Danny and the stuff that she's dealing with. So you're kind of automatically dropped in, and you're like, they're like, care about this, and you're kind of like, ooh, okay, this is really heavy, let me try to warm up to this situation, and oh my god, you know, this is terrible. And you know, you eventually get to that place where you're like, oh my god, I can't believe this character is going through all of this tragic stuff. But like with the other characters, you're just kind of like, eh. So of course when stuff starts to go down, you're just kind of like, oh wait, what was his name again? So that's the one thing that I would say that was kind of like I said, for me, the music was so unnerving. And like whether it was like the villagers like singing and humming, or even like Deontay really talked about like the breathing, they would do like kind of breathing and you wouldn't see them, and it's just a lot of interesting stuff like that with the sound. Even like their feet hitting the grass as they danced in circles, or anguish cries and shouts. Like there was just a lot of stuff that was bone chilling and unnerving and cringy in the best way possible. And with that, like the imagery, very disturbing and bizarre. That's the, like, Deontay couldn't think of any word except bizarre, and I completely agree with him. Like, of course you have imagery that relates to certain things, that ties into the culture that this group of people that they meet has, and of course there's imagery that kind of foreshadows some things that's going to happen. And I really do feel like this is one of those movies where you have to keep your eyes peeled. But for me, I enjoyed just watching the movie for what it was, Now on a second rewatching, of course, I'm gonna look more in depth for those like symbols and like images all over the place. You know what I mean? But I do feel like they did a great job embedding that stuff throughout the movie without overwhelming the audience or being like, ha ha ha, ha ha ha, look at this. Like, it was just kind of like either you saw it or you didn't. And if you saw it, you kind of look over to your friend or whoever, you're like, you saw that, right? Like, that was, I don't know, that's one thing that made this movie fun, dare must I say fun? Yeah, I mean, yeah, for a horror movie, this movie, like a disturbing horror movie, it was fun. Oh God, like there was stuff where I just couldn't like look, and not because like there was something gory happening, but it was the implications of what was happening that you didn't see. So it was just kind of like, oh God. And I remember just like there's a scene where I'm just like, oh my God, Deontay, I can't look at this. I do feel like, you know, the first 30 minutes there wasn't like a lot. It was a slow build, and I feel like if that's something you can appreciate, then you'll like that. I give Midsommar 4 out of 5 geeks. If you like this video, guys, go ahead and give me a like written down below. And of course, if you're new to my channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you can get more videos like this one. And until next time, guys, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.